This is a HeadGum podcast.
Celebrity Book Club. Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend.
Hello.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
It's me trying to do my Australian.
It's
top
not
of
me
that.
yet.
Top of the morning to
Top
you.
of the elevator, yeah. How are you?
I've been good here in County Cork, Ireland.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and I'm glad I'm visiting you in Australia today.
Are you, me lass? It's so funny that you just did Irish accent because I've been playing, as you know, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion pack, which takes place in Ireland. And so there's a lot of Irish brogues.
Oh.
And there's this really hot wench who's actually a former druid named Kira. And we did just fuck in a waterfall.
Explain to me how you become a druid and then a wench. Is that like, oh, you're like a street
I guess to
forest
me,
person and then you get a job at like an ale house?
I mean, basically, yeah. Like, as Steve Aoki would say, one thing leads to another. I mean, her thing was like, she was a druid, but then some of the druid people like got a little carried away with the whole like kooky rituals in the forest thing. And so...
Because druid is like... It's like you're a forest person.
You're a forest. Yeah, you're a forest person.
A person of forest experience.
And you do like more, let's say non-Christian kind of rituals.
It's like pagan stuff.
Yeah, pagan stuff. I mean, I guess pagan just means anything that's not like monotheism, but...
Right, it's kind of like a sect of paganism.
I mean, I don't think that paganism is one thing. I think paganism just means anything that's not like one of the big ones. Mm-hmm. But in medieval England, which was obviously very Christian, the Danes were invading a lot. They were pagan. They believed in multiple gods. The Greeks were pagan, with all these crazy myths.
Right.
And so the Christians are sitting there with their crosses and their monasteries.
Blah, 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 robes.
Right, blah, 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 robes. And they're like, oh, these druids or whatever, they're heathens. They're not as good as us. They're not as sophisticated. They don't have their texts.
Yeah, because now I'm having this faraway memory of some, punk song I listened to that was like a Scottish band or an Irish band, and them being like, and the druid stormed, like it was like heavy on the druid reference.
It was like pro-druidic?
Yeah, it was like punk, but druid punk.
Druids were the punks of the Middle Ages because they were anti-establishment. I mean, honey, the church and the state were one and the same.
The Catholic Church, don't get my mother started.
They were awful. And actually, not to spoil
Assassin's Creed and the vault and the expanding of Assassin's Creed where you are.
As it turns out, one of the chief abbots in Ireland is actually a head of this evil cult that is like wreaking havoc across the land.
Whenever you tell me about stuff that happens at the Property Brothers game or something on Assassin's Creed, I'm like, that sounds super fun. And then for a second, I'm like, would I want to play that? And I realize no, and I just do love the anecdotes you share with me from that.
They're very menu driven, which I think you would find very tedious. It's a lot of cursor and like text and moving around and selecting items and like changing your inventory. And I'm losing you already.
No,
I can see.
I know. I'm falling asleep over here.
Yeah. Just in general, not to pry, but how are you?
I know, and thank you very much.
I know you just experienced a tragic loss.
I just experienced a tragic loss. I don't want to take responsibility. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, when Amy Winehouse died, I'm going to make it about me.
Right.
But my girlfriend's beloved family dog passed yesterday, and our listeners, I don't know if you know, Steve and I are cat people. Purr, hiss. Mm-hmm. This dog made me buy for dogs.
I mean, because it was calm, I will say.
She was like cat personality.
Because you and I both, I think, respond really negatively to the insane anxiety that dogs exude.
I know.
They're all running around and barking, and they're so anxious, and they're so stressed.
Like, I didn't come here to deal with your issues.
I don't need that energy.
And this dog, I'll name her Venus, rest in power.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was just so fabulous and like floppy ears and so furry and so huge and just cat meets dog personality where it's like she
in a sheep body.
Sheep body was so like smiley and panting, but also wasn't so desperate. Like, yes, you could come over and pet her and she'd be like, hell yes, but also wasn't so like desperate in some of the way dogs are. Like she lived her own life. So
and we celebrate that independence today as we celebrate her life.
So we celebrate her with this. She loved a bone. And
I bet she did.
Oh, just licking on a bone, scraps, people come up to her in the neighborhood. Anyway, so I was, quite turned on by her when I met her.
She was kind of
a
figure in
so
that's so touching.
She was 17. So, I mean, old for a large dog.
A good long life.
Yeah.
The second you buy the pet, you know it's going to die before you do.
When my GF and I started dating, it was like, it's that pet countdown where she was like, oh, you have to meet my dog Venus. She's so cute. And of course I was wary before I met and I was like, oh, I'm sure your dog is cute. And I was like ready to be like, haha. And then I was like, oh wait, this is an icon. And she was like, oh, you're really going to have to come for me when she dies. She was already prepping me, like, first. And I was like...
Wow. I mean,
and then,
that's full disclosure.
Yeah.
Know the emotional entanglements you're getting into.
Right. Just kind of like, do know when this big sheepdog dies.
Does pass. Like, I will be inconsolable. Is she a wreck? Again, not to pry.
No, and now... And then this is so funny. It's like I actually started crying first when the news came, and she went into like business planning mode,
right?
To find, which is very her, to like find a vet that would
such a Miranda, the Martha Stewart of death,
to like find a vet that would come and euthanize at home. And I gotta say, I mean, my girl, she's good at planning death because when my father passed, she got on it, was calling funeral homes. Because there are all these arrangements you have to make super fast.
I mean, she's a power fucking boss lady bitch.
Boss bitch. And so I feel like it didn't hit her. And then we went to go say goodbye. And then when she like left, and then she was like a wreck. And I feel like she's still like, oh, I feel like when I go home again, I'm still going to like think I'm going to see her kind of pawing around.
I mean, it's brutal. I remember when I found out that my childhood cat, Casper, had pancreatic cancer. And
rest in power.
And we know how quickly that cancer can move in both humans and felines. I was interning at CVS News on Logo, and, which was such an incredible stepping stone for me into gay media. And I was deep in the basement of the CBS building on 57th.
Oh, to be on 57th?
A huge part of my job was just like organizing tapes. And in this really gay way, I like wouldn't organize them. and I would just kind of like stack them and like not really in any
VHSs?
No, it's like if you knew the internal CBS system.
Logging stuff.
It's like they use these like weird tapes that are like smaller than VHSs, but I'm sure it's like all digital now. But like where like if you need like footage of like the Bosnian War to put in the middle of this like package you're doing on something, you have to go get this like tape from the archives and then put that into like the editing bay that's this massive like computer that you edit
like
on.
A mini DV tape? We don't have to get super into this.
Yeah,
like,
it was bigger than that. I want to say they were like about yay big. And if our listeners can hear right now, I'm making kind of a large piece of bread kind of vibe.
Yeah, big old Texas toast. Because I was in art school, I made all of my video art on mini DV, and that's for another episode.
Mini DV is quite small.
It's very small.
Yeah, it's just an itty bitty little thing.
Just a little old tape.
No, yeah, these were bigger, and yeah, I'll admit I did a bad job organizing, and like that job sucked, and it was like the dumbest ass weekly news magazine show that would just be like a story about AIDS, a story about Madonna, like.
Well, you got the last laugh because Logo doesn't exist anymore.
I feel like.
Or they are still like playing reruns.
I feel like they're literally still playing reruns of Drag Race. And then, so Spirit, Ross Palumbo, who was the host of that show, ended up being a local broadcaster in Tampa, and I ran into him on election night in Tampa at the hotel where the returns are coming in.
Wow.
I remember collapsing to the floor when my mom called me and told me Casper had pancreatic cancer, and just literally like crumpled into a heap, and I was just sobbing, and I was so sad. And I remember my like coworker who hated me.
They're like, this faggot isn't organizing the tapes.
Because this faggot's not doing the tapes like with enough like gratitude. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And she was like, okay, like go home, I guess. Like she was kind of just like, okay, I see that you're obviously freaking out and like,
Right.
but I could tell that she didn't think that
She didn't buy that it deserved the cat.
she didn't think a cat death was worthy of that kind of emotion. And literally, sorry, rude.
Yeah,
like,
rude.
wow, just shows that you have actually no compassion.
It's like, oh, so you have a fully cold heart.
Yeah. No, she was an absolute ice queen. But I still wish her the best and I wish her love at night.
And maybe she is organizing tapes like a badass bitch right now. I mean, honestly, right, she probably ended up adopting some dog and is crying now. And now she
No,
knows
and maybe
that.
she looks back and she realizes and she was like, I was too harsh on that 21-year-old faggot and his skinny jeans and his thrifted sweater and his
Right,
thrifted
you're in the
suspenders.
skinniest jeans. Was this was your pre-Fred Perry era?
This was pre-Fred Perry. This was before I became punk. But then I remember, sidebar, not to be so into my skinny jeans at news media organization internships, but at CNN, this other producer who kind of taken me under her wing while I was there, one time she told me that my jeans were too creative for CNN.
Not jeans being too creative. Because they were so whiskered?
Because they were like skinned.
Oh, just so freaking like 08 or
Yeah.
like 2011 and just like the skinniest jeans.
Well, I mean, it was more 08.
Okay.
We were well out
was-
of college in 2011. We graduated
Yes.
in 09.
No,
I'm gonna-
I know that.
Just
I know that.
jog through, ma'am.
Years. I just wasn't sure if this was a post. Anyway, I get it now. And okay, we don't have to get into the nitty gritty. We should probably tell you guys that this episode is pretty
Sponsored by Mugpack.
It's one sponsored by Mugpack, but it's also like Steven's suspenders over sweater. It's pretty alternative.
Yeah.
It's
Unorthodox.
Pretty, it's pretty punk
It's
like
druidic,
me.
you might even
yeah.
say.
It follows many gods. Welcome to summer vacation. We have not read a book.
Because this is our very first episode in what we are calling the Segment Boots
Boots
series.
series.
And our first segment is
How
What
does
does
she live?
eat?
Let's do that again.
Even on
Even on this, it's just again, as we said, a lot has happened today.
we
Okay.
decided eat.
I know.
okay.
And as I said, I'm grieving a massive
No.
dog right now.
Yeah.
My mind is
Your mind is with her.
with her and her fur.
Let's just say Segment Boots series. What does she eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Segment Boots series, What does she eat?
So on today's episode, we're going to be diving into our favorite celebrities' food preferences, or at least what we think they are.
Monk, yes. This is just all about one of your favorite segments where we're just going to talk food.
Because, as you know, we're huge foodies. We love dining, imbibing.
Diners and drives. I'm Guy Fieri, and on this episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Does he always roll the R like that?
Yeah, that's what's crazy is you think it's Guy Fieri, and then you watch it and he goes, I'm Guy Fieri.
Wow, interesting.
Yep.
You should, you don't do the marota enough.
I don't, and people always say,
I mean, I find that to be completely insane.
It
When you
would be-
pronounce one non-English word like in an insane accent when you're speaking English.
and here's the thing is people always go, oh, they'll say, introduce me, or they always say Lily Marotta.
They do say Marota a lot.
Everyone
which I don't
goes to
I-
Marotta.
Which doesn't make any sense because that's just, sorry, like that's not linguistically correct. If you say like OTT, like it's always going to be ot. Like
Right.
you say bottle, you didn't say bodle.
Bodle, right. So, and I guess technically because it is probably pronounced in Italia, Marotta. So
Right.
it would be in a more crass American way, Marotta. But I'm like, no, it's Marotta. And that would be completely insane if I said, no, it's Lily
Marotta.
Marotta.
And you're not going to force someone to roll the R. But like that would be like saying, like, you know, I always say this, but it's like, you don't say, oh, I'm going to Paris. It's like, you say Paris
Right.
because we're speaking in English.
I mean, you say Perry if you're like being Mindy Kaling.
if you're,
but
yeah.
like,
But you wouldn't correct someone and be just
to
like,
be like,
it's
it's
actually
Perry.
Paris.
Anyway, Guy Fieri can do whatever the fuck he wants because
Oh wait, actually, this actually brings me to a topic though that I wanted to discuss in
Yeah.
the realm of food, which is now that there's literally 1,800 shows on Netflix that are just about someone eating food in different cities,
Yeah.
because that's the only show now that is
That
allowed to
exists.
exist. I really actually honestly do find when men eat food on screen, Anything more than stubble in terms of facial hair is actually just disgusting to watch.
So
I really hate seeing like a slaw covered like
Huge
juicy
beard.
burger like go past a beard and seeing little things get in the beard. I'm kind of, and like Guy Fieri with the goatee, like that also is too much for me. Like, yes, he shaved the rest. I'm just like, if you're gonna be eating food like constantly on camera and like some juice spilling out, just like I don't want to see a big fluffy beard around the food.
even Guy Fieri with his goatee, I feel like when he eats, it's nasty, but isn't that the thing? And like he is the originator of being like this red face, like nasty man.
I mean, he's so extreme and it's so nasty. And I would say that the goatee makes almost like a target. It's almost like a like insert food here kind of thing, which I find even more disgusting.
It's this target, but I mean, I think it's gross, but it's also supposed to be gross.
I'm just talking about the topography. It's like when the beard gets too long that it is like fluffy, like then you're really, even if stuff isn't getting caught, you're thinking it. You're like, well, but there's an avocado piece is about to get flung in there.
I wanted to ask you to kind of start this off with the segments. You just happened to blend into Fieri, and you know, a lot of people are right when they assume I am a huge Guy Fieri stan.
Sure.
Literally 3 days before COVID lockdown, he was signing his new tequila in Philadelphia that he made with Sammy Hagar, I believe.
So random.
I mean, that's very like Sammy. It's like, you know, 80s hair rock, badass, like fried men.
Yeah. I guess I'm just like, why does Sammy Hagar even need to be involved in the tequila? It's like Guy Fieri already is like famous and has a food brand. I'm kind of like,
I guess it's like pairing with someone who's just a fucking rock star, and like that's epic for them to do.
yeah. But I'm like, maybe Sammy Hagar could have his own tequila.
Oh, you're saying like get a life? But I guess like we're potting together. Someone could say, hey, you guys, like get your own pods.
No, and some people have. Okay, right. And you're Hagar and I'm Fieri. I mean, I guess obviously you're Fieri.
I'm Fieri, you're Hagar.
Okay.
Hello. And I was like, you know what? Just like, that would just be fun. So got a hotel room, drove to Philly to the tequila signing, get there. It's at like some random liquor store. Of course, I go to the wrong location of the liquor store first, get there.
I just want everyone to understand that Lily is saying that right now. She booked a hotel room to go to a Guy Fieri tequila signing. That's it. That's it.
That's it. Just kind of a hotel tonight, $100 downtown Philadelphia. You know, it's pretty close. It's, you know, the drive, bada bing, bada boom. And I was like, this will just be a fun little...
Yeah, something for you.
something for me. And get there, of course, it's so crowded. And they're just like, well, the bottles are out. Like, the bottles have all been bought.
Oh, it wasn't, you didn't like pre-reserve online?
You couldn't. It was first come, first serve.
Wow.
Should have known. He's pretty famous.
Yeah. I like the commitment to going all the way to Philadelphia and getting a hotel room for the signing, but not like actually getting like such a crazy creek chair and like getting there at 7 a.m. to reserve your spot. I mean, I agree. Like, I wouldn't have necessarily thought that this random tequila signing would have been like completely
It was
swamped.
so not in this like random some celebrity way. It really didn't feel heavily advertised because it was at just like Sammy Liquor's warehouse.
Right.
And if I really wanted it, it's like I had work that day and I was like, if I really wanted it, I guess I could have just like moved the job and been like Adirondack chair pop up, but I didn't. I was like, oh, whatever.
Well, part of the appeal was the casual access.
Yes. Right. It was just like getting in the car, being like, this is silly and fun. It's a Tuesday. And yes, we got there. And I was like, well, what if, can I just stand in line and like, can he sign any bottle of liquor? And they were like, no.
That's so when I had Margaret Cho sign that poster of Angelina Jolie.
The Tomb Raider poster.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which hung up in my bedroom for all of high school.
Iconic, you know? And some celebs will do that. Anyway,
so Guy Fieri is no Margaret Cho, long story short.
Yeah, and also, by the way, I've already had him sign a cookbook. I've already gotten his autograph. I stood in line for 2 hours at the opening of his new Midtown restaurant, and he gave me a fist pound.
Did you go to that with me?
I did go alone.
Because I've been there. Who did I go with?
No, we went to the restaurant together. I went to the signing.
No, I know you went to the signing. Okay,
It was you, me, McCall.
Yeah.
We got the donkey sauce. It was horrible. Yeah.
Absolutely awful. Everything Pete Wells said in that like scathing review was accurate.
Correct. It was just like the not even good naughty. And he told, when I did meet Fieri, he gave me a fist bump and said I was badass, I believe. And he was like, Bruins fan. My wife is from Boston.
Wow. That's like good PR.
Yeah.
To just like clock the one personal
An amazing celebrity. Clocking the one personal
observation
thing.
and then like making a little connection about it, moving on.
So my question to you said like, oh, he's eating this burger and it's naughty and it's getting his beard. What do you think Fieri eats off cam?
Okay, this is interesting. So this brings me to an insane video I watched recently of Padma Lakshmi talking about everything that she eats in a day when she's like shooting Top Chef, and she has like 17 cups of like chopped tea or whatever, and she's having like a bite of every single food. She's being like, so I try not to eat too much because I'm having like so much delicious food from the diners, but then she's having a lot of PB&J sandwiches in between
to keep things like simple.
Yeah. And so I guess there's this weird thing, very fashion designer, how they wear plain black clothing, where it's like, if you're getting inundated with all this food, you want your non-food to be like really baby.
Right. That makes sense.
So,
because you're constantly having to be like eating like some kid on Top Chef Junior's souffle macaroon, like ceviche made with weird chopped ingredients or whatever. Yeah.
And she did, I think, very charitably say that she's like, hunger is the best spice, and I want to.
Hunger is the best. Well,
she said something actually much more elegant. She was like, I want to give all the contestants like the benefit of my hunger or something, because if you're full, you're going to be like much less excited by food in general.
Yes.
I mean, I actually think you'll be even less critical, but less critical in an interesting way. It's like when I'm super hungry, yes, I like the food more, but I'm also more critical because my taste buds are like alive and they're
you're like, oh, this
ready.
is fucking bomb. Like sometimes it's that thing you talk about. It's like sometimes you sit down at a restaurant, the first 3 bites, you're like, this is amazing if you're starving because just anything tastes amazing. And then
you can start to get into it. But if you're too full, and like I could have bad ziti when I'm too full, and I won't even really be able to discern like how bad it is because it's just like my mouth is a little dead at that point.
Wait, so you're saying, but you also won't be able to discern when you're very hungry also because you're too excited?
Well, maybe for the very first bite. I'm just saying that hunger, makes things taste better, but it also like activates, I think, your mouth's critical faculties.
So, I mean, back to Fieri, I do agree. Like, he must be like someone is like making him juices, and because it's like he would be so heart attacked, and I think like bigger than he is if he ate like he does on the show. But I also think he is like trying out recipes with his kids and is making like homemade sushi.
You don't seem confident in that assertion at all.
Like, don't say he's like, it's sushi night, and they're like
and they got this like at your home sushi kit with like the little.
I think he has the
roll.
stuff.
I mean, I'm sure he's been given 18,000 sets of like.
Yeah, it's like Carnival
of
Cruises,
like sushi bamboo, and like 18, he has like he's up to his ass in like unopened knife sets and like unopened like caraway pan sets. Like I'm sure he has the like equal parts apron.
Yeah,
like,
but I think you're right. It's like he must be eating simpler, but maybe he is like fixing. If he's just home alone, he's like, wait, this is so weird. My kids are at the game.
I wonder if he's, because you know how Batali, rest in peace, would like always do his thing like snacks things, and he would make like fresh, naughty vegetable snacks. Which,
right,
like,
it would be like, take some carrots, slice it, a little bit of sea salt, roll it up, and mayo, a little bit of lime. This is my impression of Guy. He made these videos that were like Batali's snack series.
And they looked delicious. We'll be like, yeah, like let's have delicious radishes or cucumbers and like call that a snack. A little bit of olive oil. I guess my point, I don't think Guy Fieri is doing that because that's not his vibe, and he isn't like so connected to like Italian cuisine in the same way. I don't think he's,
even though he is
Italian, like his thing isn't just like fresh tomatoes, like.
But he has like a full farm, and he has a goat farm. I guess I'm arguing a little bit that he is sometimes like slicing a tomato and putting salt on it and being like, that's awesome.
I think he's just grabbing anything that's nearby and taking a bite and like putting it down. It could be a red pepper.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It could be old pizza.
Right.
It could be the PB&J. And especially after our experience at his restaurant, which was so fucking disgusting.
But here's the thing,
Like,
like the restaurant,
I mean, yeah, it's a cash grab, okay? It's a cheap celebrity ploy to get people in the door, and they're getting all the frozen fruit from Cisco or whatever, and then...
Right, like that's not actually Fieri, and I'm just saying maybe that is the myth. I think when he is at home...
If he cared about food, then he would care about that restaurant.
But I think he also cares about food, and he can care about money at the same time.
Well, that's fucking not cool. Sorry.
Like, I just feel like he is, like, grilling a full goat on Father's Day. It's between, I agree. It's like he is grabbing a red pepper and grabbing a juice and someone is just handing him something. But I also think like on
special
Sunday,
occasion grilling, yes. I will give you special occasion grilling.
Thank you. All right, moving on.
Moving on. I'm really excited to start this episode.
Celebrity Book Club.
Okay, so what we each did to prepare was bring a list of celebrities that we're going to quiz each other on and then like talk about it.
Yeah, because we like to surprise each other. And again, that's how you keep a marriage kind of going.
Okay, so let's go back and forth with our celebrity options.
I love that. And I guess I kind of started early before explaining the game.
Sure.
To you guys, just to give you that taste. It was kind of like Guy Fieri, that was our little...
That was a taste.
Yeah.
It was a warm-up.
So, Stephen... Since I just went,
okay,
you go. Let's really start this now. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ring the alarm.
Okay.
Your Cheesecake Factory beeper is buzzing right now.
Okay, the first celebrity that I'm going to ask you. Joan Didion.
Oh my God. Okay. I mean, I feel like she's so Alice Waters. I also feel like she does suffer from anorexia.
Yeah.
And I think...
I mean, she's a bird.
Yeah, I think it's a carrot. It's salad.
So
French carrot salad with a little bit of caraway seeds and cilantro.
I like
olive oil, sea salt.
I can't even imagine her eating because she's so spindly and she's like such a bone and she will just fly away. And obviously now like she's 600 years old and like weighs 1 pound and like she is like struggling to make it through a carrot and like that's fine. I'm wondering like in the 70s, was she being Elizabeth Taylor and letting the no thank yous fall like rain and like being at a fabulous party in Southern California in 1974 and Dominic Dunn is there and like God knows who else and like, you know, and like Lauren Hutton and whatever and like, you know, one of those Roman Polanski and like
Polanski, Dunn,
Hutton, Didion and like martinis are flowing and wine is flowing and like she's having a martini and then...
I actually think she's wine girl over martini. And I may be wrong. But something about it, I feel like she's a little like too reserved and it's like I respect my craft of writing and I know if I drink a martini like
and she probably was like around so many alcoholic men and like
and they're all like hitting each other and dying and like, well here's what about it but she is smoking weed which famously makes you hungry
and she's smoking cigarettes too which make you not hungry.
So a tit for tat. And I think if it's this big California dinner and it's like we're at the age of the new stir fry or something, I'm thinking more
now we're getting
California,
to late 70s, 80s.
Like hippie dinner.
Okay.
Versus like this martini dinner.
I don't know if she's being so hippie though. I mean, she's like...
I was thinking of her as kind of more of a hippie.
She was like critical of the hippies. Slouching towards Bethlehem.
Right, which I've read 30 pages of. I was always like picking up that copy of my mom's house and being like...
But I mean, she's so... I guess it's like having read a couple of her books, like she writes about herself. Mostly all her characters are her. And it's always like this woman alone at a table, staring at a window with a glass of wine probably at 4 p.m. Being just like, and the day is ending and the hope is leaving.
Glass of wine...
I guess I'm wondering, was she saying no to like all the beef Wellington or stir fry in your imagining of it? Like, or was she like really indulging?
I really think she was, saying no. I think she was saying yes and actually probably not finishing the plate.
She so leave some on your plate.
I don't think she would be like, no, I'm not having the beef or I'm not having this tofu stir fry.
Yeah.
I think there's a salad and she's eating it. I bet a pasta primavera, randomly maybe she would make for a lover and like would have some.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like, was she making meals for Quintana?
Okay, it's very movie how like when they show someone like making dinner and then all of a sudden they're done in 2 minutes and they're like, "You're right. Let's go to the bedroom."
Sorry, like because they're like movies aren't being accurate about the prep time.
Yeah, about like prep time and eating, or they're like, "And we're done," and it's like at a restaurant or something, and like all
Yeah,
the
I mean,
food.
movies also don't show people going to the bathroom. Like
That's what I'm saying. It's movie
fucked
life.
up.
Like she's leaving stuff on the plate. It's like something about her is so bow tie pasta to me.
oh my god. Okay, actually, I was gonna say orzo, but yeah,
Oh, well, she's very orzo too, because that's again like an 80s, 90s.
yeah.
And it's not that
just
she's so
something that's
90s,
small
but
that you can like peck at. Like you can have like one little orzo kernel.
right, and be like, oh, it's not like, oh, you're having this Penne vodka. It's like
I'm just remembering how much I fucking love orzo.
orzo is bomb, and that's the thing. It's like it does feel healthy. Like you
Okay,
make this
wait.
arugula salad, and there's orzo, and
And actually, I also realized something else about myself recently that might kind of shock you, but actually makes a lot of sense. I don't like rice.
we are not rice people.
Thank you.
Okay?
We're just
It's
not rice people.
We're literally not rice
We're
people.
pasta people.
We're full pasta
We're sandwich people.
Yeah, sandwich. We're steak people.
Yeah, and we're orzo people. We're fry people.
Yes.
We're potato people.
And I would say we're even more fries than like we're roasted potato people. But
Yeah.
we're
Rice
just
always
rice-
bores me. And I understand that it is a useful part of a lot of cuisines and
It's-
dishes.
right,
and
it's
like
like
it
the
absorbs
most
sauce and it's like
popular
the most popular
thing.
thing in the world or whatever. But like, and it's like, if you're having just like, an Indian or a Thai or like a paella or so, there's
You
a lot
need
of
it,
things
yes.
that you need it as this
Asian,
like,
yeah,
you need it
you
as
need
a
it.
base, I guess. But I'm kind of just like, even then I'm kind of just like, I actually don't need it. And
well, I just go with like Indian food. Yes,
but they always give you too much rice and I always like don't want
sushi
it.
is made of rice.
I mean, I know that sushi's made of, but
You
even
love
then I'm just
sushi.
like, hello, sashimi. It's like, how much is the rice even adding to the sushi?
I think though, but when you're getting like an eel roll, like just like are totally like whatever takeout sushi, but then I really want the rice.
All we're talking about right now is function. And let's be serious. Like we are talking about the function of rice. Like, yes, there are times when it is necessary, but at the end of the day, the taste is not there for me. And I just don't need it in my life. And it's not something I pursue. And I know that some people absolutely adore rice and they
yes,
want
they're
to
all
cook in a
about
million
rice.
ways and they're all rice and that's beautiful. But it's just, I avoid it. And I will continue to now that I've made that knowledge about myself known to myself.
I also think that I may not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a pretty good cook.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just feel like I don't, and I'm admitting this, and as a good chef, I should have this down. I just do not think I cook rice that well
I couldn't do it if you put a gun to my head.
because I just haven't. It's like sometimes it works out.
I mean, I do like putting leftover rice in the pan and getting the burny bits.
Yeah, and getting the really burnt. So now we're eating shit. We're huge rice people, and I guess
No, but
just
I'm
like-
not a huge rice person.
No,
and
I think
stand
it's
by what
just
I said.
core we're pasta, but
Yes.
like yeah, rice can be cool. But it's like I'm always gonna want like a grilled bread or a pasta
Yeah.
or some sort of even actually like a farro sometimes can be more interesting or an orzo.
I had these. Wait, did I tell you about? I went to King recently,
You've
And I
been
had the-
talking about King.
and it was phenomenal. And I had the they have these like chickpea breadsticks that were light as air and like puffy and stuff on the inside and like crunchy on the outside, and they floated. And the taste was incredible and drizzled with really good olive oil. I must recommend that dish.
Well, I always see it like Italian stores, when I go to my butcher's, they sell chickpea flour. And, there's this big thing because on like Fridays, Catholics, you're not supposed to eat meat. And one of our favorite delis that we don't really go too much, but we follow their Instagram, Mario's Meats in Middle Village. They're always like, get your pennelle on Fridays, which is fried, like a fried chickpea flour sandwich.
Wait, that's so insane because people think of just like Jews and Muslims as like having all their dietary restrictions, but Catholics aren't supposed to eat meat on Fridays?
Yeah, Fish Fry Fridays. And there's this whole Clancy Brothers song, which is this Irish band that I grew up listening to. And they have this whole bit about like this Protestant guy marrying a Catholic girl and like trying to convince himself that he can't eat steak on Fridays anymore. And it's a whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
But you never observed that growing up.
No, not really. And I think that's also connected to the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Yeah. We did not observe Fish Fridays. I mean, we had fish, but we weren't like, oh my God, like you can't eat steak on.
And now, of course, Joe Biden wants every day to be Fish Friday. Oh, one hamburger a year. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so let me get this straight. I'm paying $3.50 for a gallon of gas, and now I can't have a burger too?
Meanwhile, this faggot's up there in Nantucket eating God knows what with his little faggot son running around doing crack fucking God knows who.
What, is he having crudo every night?
Fuck him.
All right, next celeb, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh my God, I love him.
Yeah. Hot topic. I know this will come out later, but okay, we've done 3 celebs.
We have time to get through. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
His movie In the Heights
In the
just
Heights
came
just
out.
launched. Watched it on HBO Max or in
streaming
theaters.
or in theaters now. Yes, it's open. Anyway, I watched In the Heights on Saturday.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I haven't even told you my review.
Was it epic to the sauce?
I had a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
Clapping on your couch.
I was like, oh, musicals, right. They exist. Like, this is fun. And it's being so, like, bodega stuff.
Yeah, New York City.
New
Hell
York
yes.
City. Yeah, it's a very... If you guys didn't know, In the Heights is about New York City.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I loved Hamilton when I saw it in theaters. I was just like, yay, clapping in my hand. Like, I love music.
No, I was like, songs, they're fun.
Cool.
So, after watching this, like, I think he loves his, Latin American favorites.
Okay, you think he loves just like...
He does, but I don't, like, I'm saying, I don't think that's, I think
He likes
more,
like chicken and rice and pinto beans and like...
And like mofongo
Yeah.
and like, but I think more, I feel like he is a little more just like now has become probably more LA and is a little more like random bowl.
Yeah, he definitely strikes me as random bowl. I mean,
Speaking of rice.
Lin-Manuel Miranda to me he's so weird. Like,
And it's like, is he gay?
Is he gay? Like, I find him really kind of confounding as a celebrity, like, because he's obviously very prolific and, kudos to him. He is able to write these shows. Putting in the work, putting all these shows. He's everywhere all the time. He does voice acting.
Amex ads.
He's in the Amex ads. I mean, he's very Ellen DeGeneres in this way. You're just like, you can't escape him.
Well, in watching In the Heights, I'm like, damn, this cast. Like, look at this movie. Like,
It's a production.
it's a massive production.
Cast of hundreds.
Yeah.
No, it's giving Ben-Hur vibes.
Yeah, it's a very like entire park of people over George Washington Bridge, like dancing, choreographed.
Was it so CGI? I feel like there's probably a lot of CGI. No. The Cruella movie was like entirely CGI.
So In the Heights, oh, actually there is CGI, sorry. The whole thing, there's like this part of the movie that's goes throughout the whole thing that is CGI.
Yeah, I feel
that's
like
fake island background.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably a lot of that. But like the Cruella movie, just like even just like random chairs like in the room would be CGI. Like all the for no reason. Like the entire city of London would CGI. It was just like, is the Emma Stone even in this? I just, it's hard to put a finger on him because he has this gay vibe.
And in the movie, he just like does that very like slight Alfred Hitchcock thing, but not even, where he gives himself a random role that doesn't connect to anyone.
He's in the Golden Compass show that I watch on HBO, Historic Materials.
Oh, that show, yeah.
He plays this like aeronaut. He's like a little bit swashbuckling, but he's still kind of a faggot.
I kind of think it's also like,
Which confuses me on food because I'm just like, okay, so maybe you are like eating healthy in this boring way, but
right, but it's not like he's so fit. I'm like,
but I feel like he would tell you, like you just said, like that he would be so. I love my Latin flavors and I like love the food that my abuela used to make me and he would be so like,
this
yes,
roasted pork.
Our family comes together around food and it's such an important part of my childhood.
Yeah, and you're like, is it?
Is it? Like, I just
I think it was at one
believe.
point, and just like I'm sure around the holidays and when he does get together, but like
he also has such like single dad energy, and I don't know if that's true.
Yes, no, I know. I don't think he has children, but
because that would be
cool dad. It's like, yeah, come over to my house.
Because cool dad is so making like
pancakes
and like pork chops with apple slices and like
right. Like I bet the way things he makes for. I mean, also obviously he's insanely busy, so that's the thing. I think they are just delivering him, but again. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for calling out the fact that he is busy. And
and I'll say it, he is busy. So
he's scheduled.
If he's going to order, if they're presenting him with the menu, and from, he's on set, and there's salads, and there's grain bowls, is he getting the funkier, like, naughty bowl? Or is he being like, whatever, I'll just have the mixed green salad with grilled salmon?
Is Lin-Manuel Miranda getting the naughtier bowl? Wow, all right.
A question for the gods.
Question for the ages. Let me really try and wrap my head around this. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, because he's got to keep moving. He's not going to be weighed down
No.
by my personal
Because
pork Vietnamese rice bowl that I'm making him.
He eats to live. He doesn't live to eat.
He will claim in an interview that he lives to eat.
But he's a fucking liar.
I think he's a liar if you're going to be that successful.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Next celeb. Let's
Absolutely
go.
nailed it. Okay. Nero.
The famous Roman emperor, you mean?
Yes, bitch.
Okay. Hello. Olives, liver fried of like his ex delivered on a plate.
Yes.
You know, I feel like friend of the pod, Arlie, owner of Honey's, he makes his like signature drink is the ocean martini.
Oh, it has ocean water in it.
Yeah, and I feel like Nero is very
Having,
the Calabrian sea martini. Well, because it was probably very kind of mead back then, no? This was more wine.
I feel like it was super wine vibes.
Yeah.
So, not to bring up Assassin's Creed again, but Odyssey, which takes place in ancient Greece, which is the previous game before Valhalla. Everyone's like always getting wasted, and like Aristophanes is being like, "Come fuck me," like at Pericles' mansion, and everyone's getting wasted off wine, and it's like wine.
Wine o'clock,
Yeah,
right.
it's always wine o'clock, and I think they had figured out red and white, like they had those two distinctions, but.
I'm having a vision to a recipe I once found because I think I was like looking up just sometimes I do absolutely random Google searches who's with me. And I was like just like looking up ancient recipes. And the thing about some of them, like in Roman times, it's not so crazy different from like maybe some like
An Alison Roman dish,
except it will call for like quart of pig's blood.
Right.
It will just be like rosemary sprigs, broth, quart of pig's blood, shallot pasta, tomato paste, quart of pig's blood.
And you're just like, this grilled pheasant. And then they're just like, and you're going to need about 10 peacock eyes. And you're like, do I?
You're like, and you're wrapping it in feathers and letting it sit in the feather and then
let it sit out in the hot
eyes.
sun for 2 days. Yeah, I feel like that's true. And mostly, it's also like, you know, the whole thing back in the day was always like a big feast
and
table.
indulging, yes. And it's like you fucked and then you feasted for hours and it was wine and it was just, you know, you see all these fruits and these things and pigs and
it was the bounty, and it was, as Martha Stewart says, the spectacle of bounty. And, you know, those servants, God bless them, because they were really putting together a spread.
Up, yeah.
They probably had like, this is actually very David Chang, but like have a separate bird that was like the display bird, and then like the cooked meat was just like inside like the display bird, and like you're killing.
No, it's so wow. Display bird is so true. It's like this huge squawking pheasant, and it's dead on the table in squawk position.
Dead mid squawk. And then Nero's rolling in and he's having 3 bites, and then he's just like fucking a guy and then fucking a girl. Because you know Nero was also like famously like a cross-dresser.
Well, he was bi.
He was bi, and he was always like
cross-dresser.
killing his lover's lover and like
So
beheading someone
jealous
else.
and the passion. That's the thing. It's like I think it was all about being indulgent and having pheasant soaked in blood and grapes and olives. But I think he was also kind of goes back to the Us Weekly diet. Like I do feel like he snacks throughout the day.
Yes.
Like I feel like there's bowls of dates and almonds wherever he went.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like getting so full on like mashed potatoes, mashed lamb, mashed mutton.
No, because he wanted to be able to flit about in his little like robes. He needed that energy, and he didn't want to be, because he wasn't such a like, I forgot who, I don't know if there was like a famously fat emperor who was like being so taffed and just like lying around.
Right,
but,
it's like he's
that was
not,
on his
I don't
vibe.
imagine him that big.
And he would like be sneaking into the brothel or whatever to like cross dress and spy on his subjects, but also just like fuck a random guy or something.
Okay.
I'm also going to just put him as red wine over white wine.
Were they even really fucking with
And again,
white wine at that point?
This only comes from playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I do remember that at this banquet once, like I had to like figure out if someone wanted red or white.
Your Assassin's Creed addiction, it's kind of like I was at the beginning of this episode, I was like, that's actually so cute that like you have this druid life. And now I'm just like,
okay, back off.
Bitch, like play piano more, like get a new hobby. But I agree with you. I think white wine that was a little more happening in France and Switzerland. I know those regions maybe weren't defined at that point. I feel like Italy was just so red wine.
Think, like if you're an emperor, like you also like
again
you don't,
pig's blood. It's
pig's blood, and it's like richer, and you don't care about like making a mess because someone else is going to clean the robe for you, so you can spill all the red you want.
Oh hell yes.
Whereas like a little bit more of like a demure maiden might be like, I'm doing white because I'm worried about spilling, and
right,
I can't.
You're the demure maiden basically with your white couch.
With my white couch, and I'm being like, well, I don't have time to go to the river tomorrow and wash this linen, so I'm gonna serve my guests white wine.
Wow, which is why I'm Nero and you're the maiden, because I did buy this like green rug because like I want to be more of an emperor, and like if it spills, and you're this like sexy maiden who will.
Okay, but I'm still serving red wine on my cream rug, and then I'm just screaming at my guests to dab when they do spill.
So you're a little more like evil prince having a tantrum.
I definitely do feel like I'm Nero. He's like a huge inspiration for my personality.
Okay, Hunter Schafer.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's get a little more Gen Z.
Contemporaria.
Old people.
Hunter Schafer. What are the children eating?
Yeah, Dolly, what are the children eating? I mean, is she plant-based?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's LA. She's a celeb. She's tiny. She's weighs about $110. Fish?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's fish. Like, I don't think it's totally plant-based. Like, I do feel like...
Pescatarian.
And I feel like she probably is like, oh, no, I do like make an amazing Thai fish. And she's spending like... offset like this random 2 days of like ordering banana leaves off Amazon.
This might be totally wrong. She seems like someone to me who's not actually annoying, even though I think everyone who is like her like it is likely to be annoying, just like this hot young thing who came onto the scene immediately and is already in every fashion campaign and like every show, and it's just like, because
you're this like full Michael Musto who's like, and where did you come from, huh?
It's just like, I feel like when you get that much attention and you're LGBTQ, like you're annoying. Plus IA, like I feel like.
I kind of think she's just trendy resto.
Right. And that I think that would actually track with me saying that she's not annoying.
Right. Like I see her at Thai Diner. I see her at like Dr. Clark or whatever that restaurant is.
And yet I feel like I'm not hearing about seeing her at those places. So maybe she's not. Oh, well, she's in LA.
I feel like she is like procuring weird things for a recipe for this dinner party.
No, now I'm actually remembering. Oh, procuring weird things. She's procuring pig's blood.
I think she's a little more like...
Don't we have tea about her, though? Didn't Sam say that she just moved into this like apartment building? Oh. And he was like at this condo, like probably having a threesome or something in downtown Hollywood. And she's so like that new celebrity thing that where you buy an apartment in downtown Los Angeles, like when you have money, because you're like, I want to be near stuff.
Right.
Which is always kind of the wrong choice.
Yeah. And you're like, why are you buying this?
Just buy a house. Which would imply that she's not so trendy restaurant and she's just more like Postmates. And she's postmating sushi.
Yeah, I think, postmating sushi in LA when she comes to New York, she's doing one dinner at
She's
Thai
not
Diner.
eating all the sushi. She's ordering a ton of sushi. 3 friends are coming over. It's not
They're
getting
eating it.
eaten.
No one's really tracking how much she's eating. But yeah, it's Postmates. But I think one day she will be fish in a banana leaf when she decides to move to a house. And she's like, has this one dinner party a year. And she's like spending
she's spending all day making this one fish in a banana leaf. Everybody's like, it's so good, Hunter.
And like it's...
wow, it's so
flavorful.
Tasty, super
How did
flavor.
you did know?
Wow.
Wait, this
is
like,
oh my god,
leaf?
no, guys. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I ruined the rice. I'm sorry, I know. It's like way too aggressive. I was like, no, this rice is really good.
And it's obviously like, not enough fish.
Yeah.
And it's too much leaf.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more, and then I have just a little quiz for you.
Obsessed. Okay, Neil Patrick Harris. Wow, okay. Are you okay?
No. Paella.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about... Wait, because he's married to Simon Haas. No, he's married to Tyler, the red beard.
Carrie O'Donnell is dating Simon Haas.
Oh, not Simon Haas. Simon. Bleep that up. I'm talking about the...
No, he's married to like David Burtka. That interior designer.
Oh, okay. You
who
know who
used to be married to that guy who used to be married to that guy who died
used to be married to that guy.
Then that typhoon.
Oh, wow.
The typhoon death.
Okay. Yeah, I just think he's like full gay panic, like timing out when he does. Obviously, he's like craft services and just salad and juice and just like, but then he like claims he like makes an amazing like Iranian rice.
Yeah. He definitely claims to make an amazing Iranian rice. He's like, I picked this recipe up from my friend when I was visiting her in DC.
And her grandmother.
Is related to the Aga Khan. And I've been making it ever since. And I don't know what it is, but my friends always love it. And they beg me to make it for them.
Begging Neil Patrick Harris. Make the Iranian rice again.
Make it.
Super crispy. That's saffron.
And so they're making it, and they're just like wildly over-decorated Brooklyn townhome.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that AD, but it's scary.
I haven't. Okay, homework for me. Treat.
And it's like every inch is covered in just like a ridiculous doodad and knickknack, and it's like it looks like fucking Ripley's Believe It or Not in there.
Oh, it's
and
more
like,
novelty.
It's a ton of novelties, but also just like, so much like huge like celebrity art where it's like one big bright color and like that guy who does all the rabbits, that artist that's so I forget what the artist's name is, but like Bethany's always buying a piece by him.
Okay.
And then there's like a crazy like lucite chair, or like I guess lucite's not that crazy, but like a lucite chair next to like a zebra print rug, next to like a gold mirror, next to like a marble fireplace, and it's just like every inch is covered. And it's
no rice left unturned.
No Iranian rice left unturned. And they have this just like really tasteful like playroom that also has like 18,000.
For their like insane,
They're two like adopted
children,
like Henry and River and whatever.
And they probably have a nanny who makes them like their little snacks. Or Neil Patrick Harris is like a camera crew is coming over and he's like, nothing more I love than making lunches for like Casey and
through gritted teeth he is making Henry and Riven's lunch, just like so pissed.
And it's in those new eco Ziplocs.
Oh yeah, what are they called? Like stasher, yeah.
Everyone's
so
like
that house has got stasher,
tons
floor to
of
ceiling.
stasher, and just like there's one dishwasher that's just for the stashers.
Wow, accurate. Okay, we're veering too far into How Did She Live here.
I know, we're cheating. Okay, so here is my quiz for you.
Okay, quiz me.
I'm going to read some items off 2 menus.
Oh, okay.
These are 2 restaurants, both owned by country music celebrities.
Okay.
So
do I have to decide what celebrity owns which restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
are you going to give me options of the celebrities, or I just have to guess?
I think you just have to guess. The country music is enough.
Okay.
I'm hoping, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Key West fried shrimp. Fried jumbo shrimp sautéed with spicy sauce.
I think I already know who it is.
Shrimp tempura roll. Cucumber shrimp, masago, sesame seed,
This
eel
is all
sauce.
one menu?
Yep.
Okay.
Crunchy flake. Land/ocean. Spicy crab eel sauce, spicy mayo sriracha, New York strip. Again, this is the same menu.
Can I guess?
No, this is the same menu. Elk burger, ground elk, red dragon cheese, garlic aioli, tomato pickle.
Can I guess yet?
This is one menu. Now
You're going to read me the entire. Oh no, you're
say
gonna give me the
who
other
is
menu.
who. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the other menu. Juicy Lucia burger, queso stuffed sirloin burger, pickled jalapeno, pickled red onion, pepper jack chips. Mm-hmm. Brisket quesadilla. Brisket, cheddar, pepper jack, poblano onion, chipotle crema. Churri queso, queso blanco, poblano rojas, plus corn chips, cotija. The special for Friday is crispy shrimp tacos, sriracha honey slaw, pico de gallo, and a Santa Fe drizzle for 18. Sorry. And so that is menu number 2.
Okay, so I'm just going to say what my guess is for both.
Yeah.
First one's Kenny Chesney. Second is Miranda Lambert.
Okay. 1 out of 2. Ugh. Super close.
Okay.
I mean, you're right with the gender there. First is Luke Bryan and his sushi/burger joint, Bridge 29 or whatever,
Okay.
where there's a full sushi roof.
I mean, I could tell that it was a male country star when it was like Elk Burger. I heard Key West, and so I immediately thought Kenny
Yes.
Chesney because he owns a home there. And so
But I
that,
think that makes sense. You went there because I feel like just Luke Bryan has been trying to copy Kenny Chesney's
yeah.
aesthetic
yeah, and it doesn't have it.
of being like salt life.
Where I
but-
know, where it's like, I'm sorry, but Luke Bryan, like, you're not a parrot head. You're not like Jimmy Buffett culture. Like, you're just the most normal ass country star.
Right. And it's like, but he also wants to be the most like taillights in my face. And
It's like, pick one, either your back roads or your beach.
the thing is, what's cool about Kenny Chesney, and he does it more authentically, is he is beach.
Yeah.
But he's also, she thinks my tractor's sexy. And I feel like,
I mean, it's funny you're calling Kenny Chesney authentic when he is closeted.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Kenny Chesney is able to be Key West, and like she thinks my tractor's sexy because he is so
because
closeted.
he is gay, right?
Yes.
No, and like, because I feel like I am back roads, but also beach.
And there's
Because
just something so actually even straighter that Luke Bryan has been like, we need to have a sushi bar.
Yeah.
Because he's like wants like hot chicks to come.
Yeah, well, he also just like, he's so Nashville pilled, and Nashville is so sushi and high top, and like, just Kristen Cavallari like going out with her girlfriends on a fucking Wednesday. Wait, and the second one is Miranda's?
Yeah.
I
And it
mean,
was-
that's so, that juicy Luciana. I'm
no,
just like,
I
that's
know.
so her.
Because, you know, there's a famous burger
She loves the Southwest.
from Minnesota called a Juicy Lucy, which just means a cheese stuffed burger. And for her to call it a Juicy Lucia, just being like, we need to make this Mexican. And it's like, you're not Mexican.
Because
And
it
this-
has, well, no, yeah, I mean, hello, her whole thing is just like, be big.
Yeah, I know. Just like
And that's why
tequila
I'm
and
also obsessed with
tacos.
her.
Right. And by the way, to our listeners, Casa Rosa del Nashville just opened. So go please support it. And that is Miranda's new tequila and taco bar.
You can also support Miranda Lambert's clothing line, Idlewild, which is available where online, I think mostly, but also maybe in some certain Kohl's within the southern region.
And you can also get this summer rockin' by getting a bottle of her wine, Red 55 Vineyard. Let's go. Let's get sipping.
And make sure to listen to her new album, The Marfa Tapes. Wait, have you been listening to Marfa Tapes?
I listened to it on a rainy weekend when it came out, and I was like, okay, this is good for like rainy times.
There's a couple tracks I like, but it is like, there's those two other guys on it.
Yeah.
I'm a little like, oh, okay.
Jack Ingram.
It's a nice concept album for her.
Yes.
Watahatchee, that song I like.
I like Geraldine. That's
That
play
one's
on
good, yeah.
Jolene.
Yeah.
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Yeah, that one's fun.
And now Spotify also thinks I'm obsessed with Jack Ingram, her like collaborator.
And you're just
who are
like,
just the
no,
most
back
just
it
kind
up,
of
babe. I'm here for Miranda.
yeah. So yeah, tell us your thoughts about the Marfa tapes. But we're at
Yeah, we gotta.
we're done. This was so fun doing
Wait,
this.
do you want to
Absolutely
hear what my
ultra.
other celebrities were that we didn't get to?
Yeah.
Okay, Charles the First, Chelsea Clinton, Danica Patrick. and
That's
then-
insane that you put Danica Patrick because I almost did.
Wow.
But then I
know.
was like,
But I was also just being like, what the fuck did she eat? What is the race?
I was like, we should do a race car driver.
And then I was gonna do
I'm
Eric,
almost like,
Eric Wareheim randomly.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought you might be into that
Yeah,
one.
comedy style.
Yeah.
Man. I feel like I'm going to keep this list because this might be a recurring series. Who
Oh,
knows?
Okay, cool. Secrets.
But obviously, I guess I could think of new celebrities by then.
And I'm kind of dying to know. Will you just tell me?
Okay. Ewan McGregor, Cara Delevingne,
Oh my God.
Dua Lipa.
Wait. All British.
And this is what I thought would be really fun. Maddie Walsh.
Oh, that's fun.
Let's just say that. It doesn't need to be a surprise. We'll talk about Maddie Walsh at some other time.
Yeah.
Boston
will.
Mayor, of course. Maddie Walsh. Also Labour Secretary, excuse me.
But yeah, now he's the Labour secretary.
Yeah.
So who's the mayor now?
I think, could you be both?
No, babe.
That's not how America works.
Okay, well, we'll look into who the current mayor of Boston is. Next week's app is Ring Ring.
It's our hotline app. Yeah, where we're going to answer your calls.
All your burning questions. We know you're desperate to hear yourself on the episode, and finally, this is your chance.
We had so much fun answering them. So, yeah, tune in. See if you made it.
See if you made the cut, bitch. And
This was so-
this
we'll
was
see you
so
next
fun.
week.
We'll see you next week.
Rate, subscribe, follow. You know the works.
You know the drill. We love you
Yeah,
guys
I'll
so
have
much.
the works.
Oh.
That was a little menu joke.
Oh, get it. And the works means rating and subscribing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. And, we do love you. And
We love you so much. And we love food and we love restaurants. And
we do it for you.
one day we'll have a meet and greet at a bar and grill.
When this is all over.
When this nightmare is all over.
Yeah. We're like leaving now to go to a full capacity restaurant. Okay.
Okay. Best. Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Projects and HeadGum. The show is produced by Meg Murnane with editorial support from Leon DeFalk, Andrew Parsons, and Lynn Kaplan. Our production manager is Persia Verlin. Engineering by Ferris Monchi. Original theme song by Stephen Phillips Horse. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips and Y. Follow us on Twitter at CBC The Pod. Subscribe in your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review and don't forget to tell your friends about us.
That was a HeadGum podcast.